In this video, we're going to make a silhouette. This is part 3 of our nighttime scene. I'm going to create a man leaning against a lamppost, and this is our guy. This is going to be a real shorty. First, I want to show you the changes I made over here before we get to the guy. And since the last video, what I did was I made the light bulb a little bit smaller so it would fit better into the lamp holder, and then I added a diffuse effect to keep with our foggy scene. I didn't add very much, maybe about 2%. So pretty much that's what I did here. Now over here, this man with the backpack is the one that we're going to use. So the first thing I need to do is to separate him from the background. And we are in Pixel Effect, which is a Pixel Studio, which is where we need to be. And then I'm going to select the Object Selection tool and then come over here and let it think about him for a little bit until it selects him. Okay, so once the ticking clock is gone, we'll have our selection, and I'll move it out to see what we have, move it around to make sure we're all selected. We don't want the outside thing. And then once we get everything selected, we can just click down, and that will be the part that's selected, and then notice that it's selecting our object. So now we need to click on Refine, because this is where we can clean up anything. Now we're really lucky here because the man and the background, they're so different from each other that it really wasn't that hard for the object selection tool to do that. So now we just need to go down here and give our output to mask and then apply. So now we have a selected person. So with the guy selected, I'm going to go to FX, and then I'm going to go down here to Color Overlay. So I select Color Overlay, and instantly it makes him a silhouette. You can select other colors if you want to, but we're not going to do that right now because all we want is a black silhouette. Then I'll just do Close. Okay. I do not want the backpack, well, I better get out of here. I don't want the backpack on him. So what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that this is in the front. The black is in the front. I'm going to go over here and take the paintbrush tool, and then on my mask, we need to make sure our mask is selected. I'm going to get rid of the backpack. So I want to make this a little bigger. Okay, we made it a little bit bigger, and then I want to paint this off. So I'm going to just go over and just kind of get rid of it. Then we can make our brush a little smaller to make it more exact. Because I don't want him to be leaning against the pole with the backpack on. So I'm going to do that. Got rid of his backpack. So we're fine with the backpack. And then I can select the Move tool, collapse that down, and then right click, and then copy, and go over here and paste him in here. Now he's a giant, and we don't want him to be a giant, so we're going to make him a lot smaller. And then put him in position. So I want him over here in position. He's still a giant. So I want to get him over here where he's kind of, okay, standing against the lamppost with his legs back like that. Okay, so this is kind of how I want him right here, and this is the size I want him. The only thing about the size, what I did notice is that the leaves, if you compare him to the leaves look like they're bigger than his head, so it'd probably be more realistic if we selected the leaves and made them smaller so that it wouldn't be that like obvious. So I'm just going to make the leaves a little bit smaller to over here. It looks like there's a bunch of leaves, so you really can't tell that that's what's happening. Okay, so move the leaves around, made them a little bit smaller. This very definitely looks like a pizza. So make those leaves a little smaller, and I think I'm going to just make another one while I'm over here. I didn't plan on it, but so what? Okay, so we got him standing up against the light. Maybe we want to make him a tad shorter. Well, not so short that he looks like, he's being dwarfed by the base. So I'll put him in there, and I want to maybe make him a little bit blurry by adding a diffuse effect. So I'm going to click on him and then add a diffuse effect. So go into filters, and I'm going to go diffuse, and then maybe 2% should be good. I think I did 4 before, but let's see how this works out. Yeah, you don't want to get too much on something this small, so diffuse effect of 2% will make him blend in, and he'll look like he's more a part of that foggy scene. So there we are. Our nighttime foggy scene is complete. I was able to illustrate the diffuse and noise filters, adding shapes, adding a Gaussian blur to produce a glow effect, the transparency tool, gradients, as well as how to make a basic silhouette. I plan to create more scenes in future videos, so remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you can see what I may come up with. Buy me a coffee to support my channel, and don't forget about my merch on TeePublic and Redbubble. But more important, try a project like this yourself. Remember, we're all learning this together.